Greetings, family. Greetings, my beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Clear Thinking with Brother Dulani. My people, this week I want to discuss something that really disturbed me and really it bothers me on many levels. Because as a Pan-Africanist, as someone who wants to contribute to the liberation of our people, to see the best of our people, who want to see African people all over the world just progress, to just develop, to be happy, to be liberated, to be self-determined. It is concerning to me, the state of the interaction between Africans in different regions of the world. Now, particularly in America, where you hope that you find some type of intellectual contingency, like an intelligentsia, and there have been some groups that I've looked to and that I've been loosely associating myself with over the years, and you will look for a glimmer of hope there that they would be an example, a model of what we can be as African family. And it is sometimes disappointing to listen to the dialogue, to listen how they reason about Pan-Afrikanism and how they focus on the negative, the limiting view of the relationship. Because there is no denying the reality that we have a broken history over the last 500 years that have dislodged our people in different sector and different regions and different quarters of this world. And as a result, different ideas of the world have developed, different view of how we see the world would develop. And there's a lot of sentiment that have built up, some of it negative, towards each other. But the forces of the intellectual forces or the conscious forces or the liberating forces should be able to rise above the negativity and be able to shine a light and put forward a vision of what our Pan-African reality could be, the best of what Africans can be, wherever we are, that it is the hope and the dream that amongst every group there is a group or a section that would rise above all the negativity, all the division, and can see our commonality, to see that which can bind us together, that which can grow us as a collective, that would enhance our collective personality, our collective character, and our collective reputation as an African people. You would hope that, for instance, in America, there will be a group of Africans that we can look to in America, African Americans, who would rise above the petty differences. The same thing would be in the Afrobean, the Caribbean, where we can rise above our petty differences and the differences that exist between the distorted perception of Africans in the Afrobean, which aka the Caribbean, and also the distorted perception from the continent and even in Europe, that there will be contingency within all these regions that would rise above the petty differences, that rise above the distortion and the negativity, and says, okay, our vision is for a better world, a world where Africans everywhere can develop. There is no hating, there is no undermining or trying to belittle the character of the nationality of one region or one area over the other. That we can all bask in our greatness. We all can be proud of what we have achieved. And at the same time, celebrate another nation, region, people, achievement as well. I don't understand why it cannot be so clear. Why is it that I look to even this morning, I was examining a dialogue in America, and these are a group of Americans African Americans that I kind of say, I like, there's something about them that I like. I like their intellectualism. I like the way that their advocacy of scientific literacy, financial literacy. And I says, yes, surely they would be able to rise above the confusion. And to my disappointment, I'm listening this morning, and one of them start off, oh, the Pan-Africanism. I'm not with the Pan-Africanism, man. Pan-Africanism thrive by putting down Americans and putting down African in America. And it was so pessimistic, so negative. The energy was draining, and I'm like, wow. And then the other two panelists on the sitting like they sit back and they was like lackluster, and no one is pushing back. They just, oh, man, it is what it is. And I'm like, is it though? We have no passion, no energy in us to be able to clip the bud of negativity. Just clip it all before it bud. And to say, that doesn't represent all our Pan-Africans. That doesn't represent even the majority of what Pan-Africanism stands for. Matter of fact, I don't even know no Pan-Africanism that would thrive on putting down one group over the other. That's not Pan-Africanism. That's anti-Pan-Africanism. That is what Pan-Africanists come to eradicate. And I was just so disappointed that none of them was able to just jump out and just deal with it. And then obviously they went on and tried to nuance the conversation and did their thing. But the very fact that the brother just start off with so negative view of Pan-Africanism, it was a little bit disconcerting, and I cut them off because I said, I don't want that kind of vibes in my spirit, and I look to them as, some of the more conscious, not to mention some of the other toxic element that, that is driving the movement, call themselves the FBA, Foundation of Black Americans, and the ADOS, the American Descendants of Slavery. Some of the ideology and the rhetoric that drives those movements are very negative, very xenophobic, very Afrophobic. Very divisive. It don't contribute nothing to our global reputation as an African people. It degrades us. Those things it cannot help. Because you cannot build African Americans on that. That's building on hatred and resentment. You got to be built on love. You got to be built on productivity and optimism. You know what I'm saying? And wanting the best for yourself and for other people. What is so hard about that? What is so difficult for us as African people to just be loving towards each other? Why do a Jamaican have to feel like he's better than an African from the continent? Or an African from the continent would look down on an African American and think that he's better than an African American? Why would we have to feed into that kind of mentality? We should reject those type of thinking. Why does an African born in Britain think that he's better than an African born outside of Britain or on the continent? These are the kind of toxic rhetoric that is permeated around in our community, and you see it all over the internet. You see it on TikTok. You see it, you see it on YouTube. Those type of things are unacceptable. It is not conducive to our development as a people and to rebuilding our relationship, because we have been through a lot. We have been scarred. And I know it is the colonial scars that really have us in this state of against each other, a state of rejecting and resenting each other, a denying our kingship that we have with each other. Now we have developed this isolationist mentality. We have developed now the same mentality of the imperialists and the capitalists and the individualists and even the European mindset of just me only. Say me first. Everybody should be about developing themselves. But it should not be where my development come at putting you down. We all can develop. This world have enough resources for everyone to benefit. And Pan-Afrikanism is that umbrella that all African can feel comfortable and welcome in a space where we can interact, exchange, communicate, and share amongst each other. It should not be a contention. And I'm just disappointed when you got people who's supposed to be responsible, supposed to be conscious, who's supposed to be setting the standard and saying, brother, we're better than that. The vision is this. We need to love each other. We need to try to work with each other where we can. We work where we are. We work where we are. We work local and we think global. Because, everyone else are doing that. They're working local and they thinking global. And they work with each other. That means, say, if an African in the Caribbean get attacked, we all come out and we condemn and we all defend and support whoever get attacked. And that's how other nations do it. You attack one of them European nations and see what happened. They form that Voltron against you. And you'll be, hail of bullet will be coming after you. The fury of the collective will of those people will be smashing down on you. But we as an African people, it's so easy to just jump out there and then there's two parts of it. There's a weakness part of it, where we're just weak about it. There's a weak part where, it's wishy-washy. I ain't with that, man. I ain't with the Pan-Afrikanism. They're all about this and and it's all distortion. Never based in reality. And, you can find negative people amongst everyone. You can find negative people on the continent, negative people in the Afrobean, aka the Caribbean, which include Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, St. Vincent, Lucia. All those places you can find negative people, and in Europe, and in North America, and in Canada. Wherever people are, you can find negative. They're going to have, the most toxic thing to say about each other. But we, who's supposed to know better, have to rise above that and say we're better than that. We all know the story that the ship them that they kidnap and enslave our ancestors and drag them across the ocean. They dropped in different quarters. They went to all different regions, gather people, and drop some in Haiti, some in Jamaica, some in Trinidad, and North America, and so forth and so on. One people dispersed all over the world. And now we are at loggerhead with each other. Now we're forgetting that we all come from the same origin. We all have been fighting the same enemy. We all been experiencing the same type of mangamizi, the same kind of dehumanization, the same type of genocide. We're all suffering from all this mental illness that we have, the health crisis from our enslavement that continue to pass on epigenetic to us today. We're all suffering from it, wherever we are. Our grandparents, our great-grandparents born with nothing, dead, broke, poverty-stricken. Most of us are the first generation to go to college. And that's everywhere that we have been impacted by this mangamizi, by this Holocaust of the last 500 years. And we're all trying to come up. We're all trying to become conscious. We're all trying to become aware. We're all trying to participate in our liberation and our development. So there's no need for us to turn against each other. There's no need for it. And constantly I come across it, across the internet, across TikTok, across Facebook, across YouTube, and I'm seeing these things manifest themselves. Now on Twitter, on X, I see it. You know what I'm saying? They're pushing out, and then you got some of them who consider themselves, influencers or thought leaders or whatever they call themselves. They're pushing out nothing but negativity about non-African Americans. You know what I mean? Calling people by name of Teters and all kind of despicable description and negative description. I even see them start criticizing the food that other Africans eat. How low can we go in this type of negativity? How low can we go? What do we benefit from doing this? You think that you're going to inspire your people by putting down somebody else, by pouring out their food? And if you probably go there and eat that food, you probably enjoy that food. You can sit there in America and talk about, oh, look what they're eating over there. You're eating whatever you're eating because of your association with that environment and the influences from different people in the environment. And then you're going to put other people down because of what they're eating and how they dress and their culture and other things. It's just sad to see that we have come to these kind of position as an African people. And I'm particularly critical of those who are supposed to know better. Those who are exploiting the ignorance of our people. They're exploiting the vulnerability that exists amongst our people, the lack of knowledge, the lack of historical consciousness, the momentum of history, the lack that understanding of the whole movement and the momentum of memory and of history. And you have some of them who know some things and they will exploit what they know against those who don't know nothing and feed the negativity before they try to clarify and bring positivity in that space. They will feed it. And it's non-progressive. And it's so sad. It's so sad and disappointing and despicable to see these people who are supposed to be conscious, who are doing this. And it doesn't help. You still have a responsibility to your family, to your local community, to build wherever you are. Extend solidarity wherever you can. Do what you can. No one is expecting you to save the world. You just have to do what you can with what you got, the hands that we are dealt with. Because the situation that we are faced with is a global condition. Wherever we are as African people in the last 500 years, we are experiencing that same type of weight, oppression, repression, attack. Economically, politically, ideologically, whatever region we are in the world. We're all experiencing it. But collectively, we can overcome it together. You can do your thing. When there come a time, once every year, once every 5 years, we get together and we have a international kumbaya. And we celebrate our commonality. We commemorate our collective struggle and our collective ancestors who have laid the foundation for us. There's nothing wrong with that. That is healthy. That is positive. That is progressive. That's Pan-Afrikanism, which is to strive for the best for African people, the best education, the best ideological development, the best cultural development, the best scientific development for our people. To have protection, to have defense. That's what we want for our people. Our children to be taken care of, our elders to be taken care of, poverty to be eliminated. That is what is needed everywhere African people are. To build the best schools, to educate our people. That's what we want. And that's what we demand as Pan-Africanists, wherever we are. It should be about African love, black love. Not about tearing down another man or another woman because of the region they are born in. Many of us, we have no control over where we are born. We're born into this world. We have no control over that. But what we have control about is our vision and our destiny to want better for ourselves, to want to improve. A vision where we can live in peace and development and prosperity. That is what should be wanted by every African, wherever we are. Our children to grow in a safe environment and to be happy. and a mighty, developed African global power that is respected around the world. The African reputation and credibility is established around the world because we have been through a lot. We have suffered a lot of injustice. And it is our duty to demand for and repair the damage that's been done to ourselves and to rebuild our common humanity as an African people. So yes, my people, this has been episode 53 of Clear Thinking with Brother Dulani. Let's stop the division. Let's stop the divisive language. Let's stop putting down each other. I mean, we even put down each other in our family, in our own community, on the block, the next block, the next city, the next community. You know, we need to stop it. The next country, the next region, the next continent. We have to stop the putting down and start to embracing each other and loving each other. That is the key for us. When you see another African, you just embrace that African. Another black man, you embrace the black man. You know what I'm saying? But no one is expecting you to save the world. No one is expecting you to come and leave your responsibility to come take care of my responsibility. I will take care of mine, you take care of yours, and together we can take care of the collective. That's how it works. So we don't need to distort the issue and make it complicated. It's very clear, my people. We just have to love ourselves as African people. Love ourselves enough. Understanding the collective, the common pain and hurt that we have been through as a people. The genocide, the cultural genocide on our mind, on our psychology. Once we understand that, then we understand why we are thinking the way we think. And then we try to reject that old thinking and become new in our vision and our thinking. It's going to be difficult out here. And hopefully in the next episode, I will touch on a few things. I'm thinking of touching on this thing about the renaming of the Gulf of Mexico. It's interesting how European can peep that game about renaming, but we as African, we just accept name that was given to us. If they can just come and talk the rhetoric of changing name, why we are not talking about changing name? The name of the enslavers that we have as a people walking around with. Why are we not talking about changing our names and the name of our countries and the name of our states and our cities, name of our parishes? We have to think about that. And I'll be addressing that in the next episode of Clear Thinking. I want to thank you, my beautiful people, for listening to me in Clear Thinking with Brother Dulani. I want to ask you to like, share, and subscribe to this program. Help this program to grow. I will be touching on more of the current event that's taking place. I will be trying to become more and more relevant, tapping into more of the headlines, tapping into more of the, the frequency, the current news and events that's taking place, and give my Pan-African analysis, my impartial analysis on events and news as they unfold. So thank you very much, my people, once again. Have a wonderful day. Ashe Hotel.